Y'all looking for me? Y'all looking for me? Y'all looking for me? Well, here I is. Hey. What's good? What's good? I love this beat. Shout out to my man V City. That's what's up. Hey, hey, hey. I got another one for you. Let's go ahead and let's dive right in. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. My man Brad Ombre, the first one in the chat, salute to you. And my own cousin finally came in and said he was here, even though he gave me a sad face. I guess he just expected me to be like a TV network show, man. But hey, either way, I appreciate you, cuz. Love, baby, love. All right, so look, I just want to dive right into this. And before I can do that, I have to play this. So I'm going to play this first, get this part over with, and then I'm going to get into what this is all about. Talk to us, baby.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Alrighty. So, approximately 91 years ago, a man was born. He's a man of means. Then along comes two. They got nothing but the dreams. No, not that man. I ain't talking about Mr. Philip Drummond. But 91 years ago, January 15th, 1929, there was a man born by the name of Martin Luther King Jr. And some 30-something years later, in 1963, that man gave a speech on August 28th that was one of the most iconic speeches of all time. Okay? And that speech was about us. He was speaking on our behalf to the nation, to the world, about us having the liberties, having the freedom that everyone else had. And it was one of the most iconic points in the entire civil rights movement. That was a little bit over 57 years ago. Let me take you back.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Did y'all hear that dude introduce him as Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.? Boy, it was stupid people even back then, but that's neither here nor there.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
He called it.
Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Okay. Now, I just wanted to give a little taste of that, just to set that tone as to what it was like back then in 1963. When you think about 1963, you think about the civil rights movement, the injustice, the unfair treatment, all of that was occurring in that time. The discrimination piece of you couldn't go here, you couldn't be there, this was your area, this was our area. If you got caught here, you get beat, or you might get hung, you might get lynched, you might get shot. There was a clear definition of the lines and the boundaries in our society of where black people could go. And that was determined by the color of their skin. You can only do this, and you can only do that. And if you tried to do this, you would be punished or denied access to that. Why, do you ask? Well, because you're black. Like they said in Lethal Weapon 2. But you're black. And you think about this happening and taking place only 57 years ago. Only 57 years ago did this take place. And now we're at a point to where we aren't barred from going any place. You don't see, or somebody tell me when the last time you saw a white only sign. Tell me the last time when you saw some dogs and some water hoses being sprayed on us as we were being beat and spat upon just because we wanted to sit in the same restaurant as a white person sits. Tell me the last time you saw somebody with a sign that says whites only, no blacks, can't no naggers come off up in here. Tell me the last time you went into what's the restaurant called? Baker Square. And they told you that at Baker Square, them was white only pies. And you and Claude and Ray tried to turn one of those white only pies into a nigger pie, and they pulled out a shotgun and said, how about I turn you into nigger pie? And you had to go 5 miles up the road. Hasn't happened, right? Well, I believe that there has been a lot of progress when it comes to the rights and privileges that we as Black Americans have. I believe today that in general speaking, we're allowed to go anywhere. We're pretty much allowed to do anything. We can have access to whatever we want. As far as what other people allow us to do in their companies, that is not the type of liberty and freedom that I'm talking about. I believe if you own something, you should be able to run it the way you want to run it. However, when it comes to what we can do and where we can go, what we have access to, there's no redlining. There are no things where, hey, just because you black, we gonna do this to you. I believe as a country, we've moved past 1963. Okay. However, I do believe that there is a lot of opportunity for us as black folk, as black Americans in this country. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Because when I think about what Dr. King was saying in this speech, where he was going with this speech, he was under the impression and the assumption of where his people were today in that time, on that day, on August 28th. In his mind and from his position, and to his point, us was straight. Black folks, for the greater majority in general, had their shit together. The thing that was holding us back from being free, from the rights and privileges that we were supposed to be entitled to as black Americans, was the problem. We had ourselves as a unit. Black folk was together. You talking about being number one as far as in wedlock births. You're talking about the strength of being a family, the extended family. We came up with that. We did that. We were number one in that. Having children out of wedlock, we were the lowest. Having the whole fact of just saying being a family unit, being able to say I got a mama and a daddy at home, and we championed that. And I think that was something that was a given in that time. So there wasn't a call to say, well, black folks, you niggas is tripping in these streets today. The shit y'all doing, I'm tired of this shit. There was no niggas get yourself together speech that Dr. King had to do because niggas was together. And so that allowed us as a group, as a unit to move forward to say, well, now here are the things or the obstacles that are before us that we need to go through, overcome, and figure out. And we are able to do this as a unit. And I guess from that time until today, to today, when you look at that dash or that moment from this time till today, would Dr. King look at this and be proud of where we are as a people? And when I asked that question, it got asked because of something that I saw. And what I saw was something that I have been seeing on a regular basis, to the point to where, in general, this is something that we do. And we do it to the point to where it has become a thing to do. And as I saw this and I watched this, I cringed, I got angry, I got sad, I got disgusted, or as some people say, disgustive. I got to a point where I said, God damn, is this the dream that Dr. King had for us when he wanted us to be free? When we were when we got to the positions where we could buy the things we want, go the places we want, do the things we want to do, we could pursue the so-called American dream as black Americans. Is this what he saw us being after we got that access, once we got to that point? Because in today's time, we have an endless amount of access to information. It's nothing that a black person, black American, Hebrew Israelite, Jamaican, whatever you want to call yourself, there's nothing that you don't have access to get the information. There's nothing that you can't get the information to because you don't have access. So the education part and the knowing part be on us. How we conduct ourselves and what we do in this world and in our lives, it's on us. There was a time where, and this is probably one of the last symbols, or one of the last examples of racism, true racism that I can refer to. There was a time when a black person couldn't get a home mortgage just because they were black. Didn't matter the job, didn't matter their credit, just because, oh, it's a nigga? No, can't have one. That, in my opinion, was probably the last just systematic, flat out, blatant, here it is in your face example of racism, was redlining. And if you don't know what redlining is, look it up. But that's what it was. Shout out to my brother Tommy. But that's what it was. And it's like, to see where we were then and what we had against us then, and to see where we are now and to see what's up against us now, it's just more so of an us thing as opposed to a them thing. It ain't them that's hurting us. It ain't them that's embarrassing us. It ain't them that's holding us back, keeping us down, doing us in. It's us, not them. And I was just thinking about, if Dr. King was alive today and he was sitting at home at 91 years old, 91, he would have been 91 on the 15th. 4 days ago, he'd have made 91. If he was sitting at home in his Atlanta house with his grandkids and his kids, they came over, they wished him happy birthday, they sang, cut the cake, laughed, Joe had a great time, and it's in the wee hours of the evening. So with him being 91, we're probably talking about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Him and Coretta at home in the bedroom, and he like, yeah, Coretta, I'm going to check my email and see what's happening on Facebook before I go to bed. If he was to go to his computer and look on his computer and see this, I want to know if this is what his dream would have been. I want to know if this is what the dream he dreamed for us Black Americans, if this was it.
In my motherfucking life with overgrown ass motherfucking children. I swear to God, Ebony Latrice, do not be calling my motherfucking mama, because I'm your motherfucking mama. I'm a grown ass motherfucking lady. I'm a grown ass motherfucking lady. I don't do disrespectful ass motherfucking children. Like I said, little bitch, you is dead to me. And I meant that. I don't have to deal with no little children that came out my motherfucking ass, eat my motherfucking shit, and want to be this motherfucking respectful.
It's so nasty.
Find your motherfucking place in life, bitch, and stop opening up your motherfucking legs to Tom, Dick, and motherfucking Harry. That's what you motherfucking do. Stop letting all these motherfucking niggas nut in your motherfucking ass. Find you something safe to motherfucking do, because this ain't safe coming for me, sweetheart. I had you. I'm your motherfucking mama. You ain't mine. And I meant that. You cannot call my mama on me. What you thought my mama was gonna do? Beat my motherfucking ass? Bitch, I'm your motherfucking mama. As long as you keep being disrespectful, calling me bitches and hoes, still talking about I snort cocaine, trying to hold me to a motherfucking past that God done cleared me from. Bitch, I got 8 years motherfucking clean from cocaine, hoe.
Okay.
I don't owe your motherfucking ass shit. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. You hear me? Bitch, I birthed you. You better be glad I didn't close my motherfucking legs and break your motherfucking neck, because that's what the fuck I shoulda did. Or I shoulda goddamn sucked that dick and swallowed your motherfucking ass.
This is a mother speaking to her daughter, who she obviously got some kind of beef with. This is what she's saying to her, not through FaceTime. This is what she's saying, streaming live, talking on her Facebook Live to her child, who is obviously a grown woman, and they both grown. She just said, I wish I would have broke your motherfucking neck with my legs as you was being birthed. Birth. Bitch like this don't give birth. She gives birth. B-E-R-F. F. That's what she said.
That's what the fuck I should have motherfucking did. Like now cocaine trying to hold me to a motherfucking past that God done cleared me from. Bitch, I got 8 years motherfucking clean from cocaine, hoe. Okay. I don't owe your motherfucking ass shit. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing, you hear me?
And one part of Narcotics Anonymous is this. Is that step number 13, that I don't owe your ass a motherfucking thing step? Are you serious? She is really like, she is, I guess what's so alarming to me is that she's okay with what she's doing. She's good. She's in her zone. She's in her bag. She's on her soapbox. She really is getting it in and is okay with the fact that she's doing it this way. And what she's saying, she don't have well, let me check myself, I'm upset. She ain't got none of that going. There is no remorse in anything that she's saying or the way that she's saying it.
Bitch, I birthed you. You better be glad I didn't close my motherfucking legs and break your motherfucking neck, because that's what the fuck I should have did. Or I should have goddamn sucked that dick and swallowed your motherfucking ass. That's what the fuck I should have motherfucking did. Like I said, bitch, you better stop motherfucking playing with me, cause you of age now. I will beat your motherfucking ass. I don't play with motherfucking children, not even my motherfucking own. And I motherfucking mean that.
Oh, she definitely deleted
You
it.
can't keep your motherfucking legs closed to save your motherfucking life. You don't know if you want a motherfucking nigga, a boy, or a motherfucking hoe. With your confused motherfucking ass. Find you something safe to motherfucking do, little bitch. Cause this ain't motherfucking safe. Because if I was near you, I would knock some sense into your ass and be ready for the police clean to put my ass in handcuffs for beating your motherfucking ass while you thinking you growner than motherfucking me.
Yo, that baby is.
That motherfucking way. Grown ass motherfucking little children. A little girl that came out eating my motherfucking asshole and got something to motherfucking say about her motherfucking mama.
Like, my mom may not never say no shit like that. Yo.
Right, a long motherfucking time. It's been a long time, but maybe I need to motherfucking come back. I swear people, not even children, won't let you be motherfucking great. You little disrespectful ass motherfucking hoe. I knew you was gonna come to this live. Bitch, don't call my mama on me, bitch. I'm a grown ass motherfucking woman.
Y'all remember y'all remember Eddie Murphy and you remember Eddie Murphy when he was in Boomerang and and motherfucking whatchamacallit parents was fucking in the bathroom and Eddie didn't have no words. He was just like, and he set the CDs down and just hugged the nigga. I have no words. I have no words. And I'm telling you right now, because I know somebody's watching this and y'all are thinking that this is, oh, that's just this bitch. No. This shit has become the thing to do. You mad, you pissed off, you want to tell somebody off, you want to get somebody told, you coming for somebody, you going to put somebody in their place. This is what they doing right here, right now. This is what they do. They go live and people then will like and share the shit to where hundreds of people, thousands of people will be watching these type of videos where a motherfucker just going the fuck off, airing out all their dirty laundry, saying whatever, however, making threats, whatever. This is the new thing as far as going off on somebody, putting somebody in check. This is what they doing.
Long as your little bitty pissy tail ass being motherfucking grown, bitch, calling me out, bitch, you gonna get this kind of motherfucking, you gonna get all this right here from me. Y'all get it now.
And yes, those are children in the background. Singing in the background. Those are children in the background. And she gonna let you know who they are. Just hang in there.
You gonna get all this from me, ho. And I mean that. All of it. And your little friends can get off my motherfucking post. See, that's your motherfucking problem, little bitch. Let me tell you something. The Bible tells you that children's days will be cut short for being disrespectful to their motherfucking parents.
Yes, this bitch just quoted the Bible. I'm sorry. I could not believe that she had the balls, because she sounded like a fucking dude, but the fucking audacity to then quote the Bible. This bitch got the nerve to quote scripture to her daughter as she cussing a motherfucker out on live.
God, when I tell you one of these motherfucking days, I mean that. All of it. And your little friends can get off my motherfucking post. See, that's your motherfucking problem, little bitch. Let me tell you something. The Bible tells you that children's days will be cut short.
Don't she sound like Esther on from Sanford and Son? The Bible tells you, sucker. Now look here, Fred. My sister. Now look here, Fred. You fish-eyed fool. My sister was a saint, and I'll be a monkey's uncle if I let you or anybody else drag my sister. Her glory. Don't she sound just like Aunt Esther from Sanford and Son?
For being disrespectful to their motherfucking parents. God, when I tell you one of these motherfucking days, then I say get in there. And I mean it.
Listen to this bitch talking to her kid. Didn't I say get in there and I mean it? Look at this shit.
Didn't I say
Cause
get
y'all
in
gonna be
there?
raised like this little hoe. Then I tell
She said, y'all ain't gonna be raised like this little hoe. Talking to their sister. That's, you a kid, and this is what you're doing. You're watching and listening to your mama talk to and about your big sister, and she tells you, cause y'all ain't gonna be like this bitch here.
you, baby, your days gonna be cut short. You understand me? Yeah, you is a bitch. You is all that. When you disrespect me, little hoe, that's what the fuck you motherfucking did. Cause I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. What motherfucking child sit up here and let their friends call their mama a motherfucking cokehead and a motherfucking crackhead? Bitch, you are not my motherfucking child, hoe. Bitch, you is dead to me. I don't owe you shit, bitch. And I mean that. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing, bitch. You understand me? When I tried to be a mama to your motherfucking ass, and we gon' go there, cause bitch, you opened up this motherfucking can. You understand me? Bitch, when I tried to be a mama to your motherfucking ass, bitch, and I'm finna go all the way there. I'm finna go all the way in. Bitch, you kept that little monkey looking ass baby away from me, hoe. That same baby that looked like my motherfucking ass, you kept away from me, bitch.
You kept that monkey looking motherfucking baby away from me, ho. Yeah, the one that looked just like me, bitch. You kept that baby away from me, ho. Actually, ma'am, you do owe her something. you owe her at least 8 years from when your ass was snorting cocaine and smoking crack. I would think if a parent, a mother, or father went on a fucking drug binge for 8 years, I would think that they do owe their children something. I'm just saying, just me, correct me if I'm wrong. If my mama or daddy just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go do this crack thing, I done signed a contract with the 63rd Street Crips, and I'm gonna be one of their main supporters. I'm gonna be stealing, robbing, sucking, and fucking for this crack cocaine for the next 8 years. I'm out. I think that if anybody was to do that, that they would owe their kids something. I'm just saying, please, if I'm wrong, if I'm tripping, let me know. But I'm just saying, I would tend to think that. And if you just tuning in, please click the like button. Please hit that little thumbs up. Hit the share button. Thank you so kindly. Bitch, you still ain't yourself. Just saying. I'm just saying. If I could get whispers from Hoodlum to come and talk to this bitch, it would be this. Whispers. Talk to this bitch. You still sick, Valley? That's who this bitch look like. She look like Valley. Oh my God, she look like Valley from Boomerang. Hello. How you doing, Valley? That's exactly who she looks like. Oh my God, that's who it is. How you doing, Valley? Oh my God. That's exactly who she looked like. Please, Bumpy Johnson. Please, Mr. Bumpy. I'm sorry. I never do nothing like that again to you, Mr. Johnson. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson. Please. How you doing, Valley? That bitch said, because I can't fuck you. Do you hear her, just her logic, her rationale? This is the decisions that she's making. This is why she's making them. And this leads her to what the fuck she's saying. Let me tell you something. Bitch, I sat here and I watched your motherfucking ass sit here and smirk around my motherfucking husband, bitch. And that's what you do. Since you want to take this to Facebook, bitch, that's what you was doing in my house. And it hurted me to have to choose from my husband and my motherfucking daughter. But let me tell you why the fuck I did. See, cause bitch, I got married. Bitch, I can't fuck you. But ain't no grown ass child
It's only gonna be a matter of time before that lady puts your motherfucking ass out again.
A matter of
Welcome to
time.
the real world. Why you sitting there trying to have all these motherfucking babies? Bitch, take your ass back to motherfucking school. That's what you do. I want you to be better than me, bitch. You understand me?
How do you even say that? I want you to be better than me, bitch. How do you say all of that shit and then come around to that? See, I'm just not seeing it. How do you talk that way about your own daughter and say those things about her, call her those names, and then come back and say, because I want you to be better than me, bitch? How, Sway? How do you have that expectation? What are you giving her? What are you doing for her as a mother to where she can be? If this is what you saying to her on social media, on Facebook Live, I can only imagine what you said to her in a house. I can only imagine what you said to her face to face for years, crackhead or not. This bitch sober. Imagine what she was like when she was on that shit.
I've always been hard on your motherfucking ass because I wanted the best for my motherfucking children, even though I was not there. That didn't stop me from not loving.
I wanted the best for my motherfucking children, and I was hard on your ass, even though I was not there, because I wanted the best for you. It's amazing how just anything that she do, that she's done, none of it matters because she her mama. It's just whatever. Anything, it don't matter. I'm your mama, bitch. Nah. Yeah, I know. I come on now. I wouldn't just come over to your house and just put my feet on your couch. I wouldn't just do that now. Come on now. Yeah, I went ahead and did it because I was your mama. That's why. Just look at this. Listen to what she's saying and why she's even saying it. And is okay with saying it. Come on here, Valley.
Y'all, you understand me? But let me tell you something. I can't buy my way in your motherfucking life. I ain't gotta give you no $200 and $300 motherfucking dollars all the motherfucking time. Every time I see your motherfucking ass, bitch, I ain't got to break bread with you. I got 2 old children I got to worry about over here that don't disrespect their motherfucking mom. You understand me? Cause can't nobody take that away from me. Bitch, I birthed you, hoe. Sad to say it, but I did. Cause I sure wish I had swallowed your motherfucking ass.
Oh, shit.
Bitch, I wish I had caught all the calm, bitch.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
came out through my motherfucking ass.
Oh.
And I mean that.
Let me tell you something. As a man listening to this woman speak that way about her kid, it's disgusting. It's vile. It's gross. I could not even conceive the thought of my mama saying that about me. My mama saying that, period. I could not conceive the thought of that. And for that girl, I can only imagine what it is she's thinking and how she's feeling. Not just hearing her mama say it, but her mama saying it about her on Facebook Live. It's other motherfuckers watching this stream. And she's saying it with no problem. No issue whatsoever. That's what she's saying about her daughter.
See, look at your little friends all on here. All these little hoes. That's why I told you, girl. It's best you stay your little weak ass away from me. Cause bitch, I put these paws on your ass like little Scrappy. And that's on Jesus Christ.
That's on
I'm talking
Jesus
about for
Christ.
real. You knew not to bring your ass over here where the fuck I stayed at. Cause bitch, I was gonna stomp your motherfucking ass just like Lil Kira motherfucking did, bitch. All you gonna do is go try to get some little motherfucking niggas. But bitch, I got a
I get it out the mud, ho. I don't owe you shit, bitch. I got bullets for all y'all motherfuckers.
Not a motherfucking thing. And y'all just want to drag that man, that name, down through there, bitch. Because he went and fought with your motherfucking ass while your little hopper grass, smiling, hiding in panties, having ass was all up in this motherfucker, walking around with damn near panties on in my motherfucking household. The fuck you thought? The fuck you mean? Like I owe you shit. What kind of child gonna sit there and let motherfuckers call their mama a motherfucking cocaine head and a motherfucking crackhead? Bitch, I don't owe you a motherfucking thing, bitch. You better get like me, bitch. You better keep motherfucking living. That's what the fuck you better motherfucking do.
You better get like me, bitch. You better keep motherfucking living. That's her blueprint. That's who she's supposed to be following.
Bitch, you better pray you make it to my motherfucking age. The only time I'ma see your motherfucking ass, bitch, is in a motherfucking casket. And I mean that. From the bottom of my motherfucking heart. That's the only time I wanna see your disrespectful motherfucking ass, bitch. When you laying down in a motherfucking casket.
The only time I want to see my daughter is when you dead laying in a casket. That's the only time I want to see you is when you dead laying in a casket.
And I mean that.
And
I don't know for God take your ass to
the
the
rubber room.
And that goes to show you right there, because somebody would probably try to make the argument of saying she's just upset, that's all. Nope. That right there is performance. That right there is her grandstanding. That bitch is in her motherfucking, she ain't in her right mind, but she has definitely got a hold of her faculty. She know what the fuck she doing and what the fuck she's saying, and she knows how she's saying it. And she's doing it without any type of restraint. None whatsoever. She's doing this shit and performing on fucking purpose.
trying to take me back to somewhere where I'm not. I don't owe you shit. Little motherfucker, you better pray and ask God that your ass, goddamn, don't goddamn that you will make it to see my motherfucking age. And you better pray that you don't never have to go through what the fuck I had to motherfucking go through. Cause I paid for that.
Do you hear how she is? Is she like evangelizing? And I still don't get this motherfucking, what's with this Xerxes chain on her lip? That hoop, like a keychain or something on her lip. What the fuck is that? Where is that supposed to be, sexy or some shit? I don't know, but god damn.
I walked in these motherfucking shoes. Do you understand me? And
I walked in these motherfucking shoes. Do you understand me? Ha!
I walked in these motherfuckers well. Can't nobody wear this motherfucker.
I walked in these motherfuckers well. Can't nobody.
Fucking shoe shine. This shoe size.
This shoe shines.
No motherfucking body. I don't owe you shit. And tell
Everybody. Not everybody. Everybody.
the reason why I put you out for real, bitch. Since you wanna take this shit out on Facebook, ho. Cause I'm the queen of Facebook, bitch. I do this.
I'm the queen of Facebook, bitch. I do this. Do y'all realize that this is a mother talking to her child on fucking Facebook Live in a house with at least 2 other kids? This is what she's doing as a mother. This is what she is right now. This is the image that she wants the world to see, which is why she's doing it like this on this social media platform.
Let everybody know for real how I came in that room, bitch, and you was in there riding that motherfucking little boy in my children's bed, bitch. And how I caught your ass on the couch fucking him. Ain't damn one of my children gon' fuck in my motherfucking house. You hear me, you little hoe? Cause that's what the fuck you is. You carry around.
And yes, that is her smoke alarm, not mine. Tommy right about that shit. Jesus Christ, man.
Like you the Facebook hoe, acting desperate and shit, bitch. Get you a life and be better than me, so your ass won't have to go through the struggle like I motherfucking did.
And here's my thing. Because I'm sure there's some mothers and there's some fathers that's watching this, and they can identify with the idea of saying, yes, I want my children to be better than me. I absolutely want my children to be better than me. I have that expectation. However, I make sure that I do what I need to do in my life, and the plans that I make in my life are to actually prepare them to be better than me. I want to make sure that I give them the tools. I want to make sure that I give them the support. I want to make sure that I provide them with the environment in order for them to be better than me. I'm just not going to have a kid and say, yeah, I want you to be better than me, but I'm about to go get off on this crack and this cocaine for 8 years. How do you have the expectation for your kid to be better than you, and you ain't even putting your kid in a situation to be better than you? Because I'm quite sure if she caught her riding some little boy on her couch, fucking in her house, if she caught her being around her man in her house with boy shorts on or some tight little shorts showing off her body because she's younger than her, I'm quite sure that her being that sexually active or that oversexed, I'm quite sure that she learned that while she was off getting off into that crack cocaine binge that she was on for 8 years. So while you had the expectation for your daughter to be better than you, and you was off not being a parent, not being a mother, talking about you still love her though, I hear you, but that ain't worth shit. Because just like you had to walk in your motherfucking shoes by yourself, can't nobody walk in these shoes of mine. So did she. So did she have to walk in her shoes without her mama. So did she have to walk in her shoes without her daddy. So did she have to walk in her own shoes, having to deal with the fact that everybody know her mama was on cocaine or a crackhead or a cokehead or a drug addict. She had to walk in those shoes too. So just while you was walking your walk of life, surviving and doing everything you had to do to make it in this world, and you better pray that one day you get to be as old as I am, you jive turkey, you. She had to walk in those shoes, watching your ass walk in your shoes. So whatever disadvantages, whatever faults, or whatever that came upon you in your life, that was just the worst thing in the world, because don't nobody know your story. You should have thought about that before you had a kid. You should have thought about that before you got strung out on drugs. You should have thought about that before everything else that affected you wasn't handled and taken care of so that it wouldn't affect her. And the fact that you didn't, you do owe her. Because that's your fault. You didn't pick a good enough father for her. You didn't carry yourself as a mother for her. Because you was off doing you. Because just like most women in these situations, they selfish bitches. And all they care about is themselves, what they doing and what they going through. That's what you did. And the fact that you did it, it's already done, but God damn it, how dare you try to make light of it and make it seem as though that don't matter, because it does. It's everything. Because your daughter walking in her shoes got to live with the fact that you chose that nigga over her. You chose that cocaine over her. You chose that crack rock over her. You chose not being a mother over her. Not being a mother to her. You chose that. You chose the streets over her. That's what you did.
Bitch, you do disrespect me. Now you wanna act like you this little child with a halo over your head. Bitch, you around here fucking out of goddamn all three motherfucking pants legs, ho. Not all two, but all three pants legs, bitch. Clean up your motherfucking act. That's what the fuck you do. Daphne, get the fuck on. Cause bitch, you part of the dick sucking clique too. Bitch, go get your mama, hoe. You hoes wanna be so motherfucking grown. Cause let me tell you something. I wouldn't be around no motherfucking friend that'll goddamn congratulate a motherfucker for disrespecting their motherfucking mama. That's the first thing you need to do. You little tramp, change your motherfucking.
Let me address this. So Sam Hudson said, I love you men, but I don't want you men teaching me nothing about a woman unless y'all have a blueprint of a woman like to teach younger girls. How about the basics? Because you can get off into what you teach a kid, what you don't teach a kid. Why not just do the basics where you don't have to be a man or a woman to determine what the fuck is right and wrong? You don't have to be a woman to teach the basics to a young girl. You don't have to be a man to teach the basic principles of life to a young boy. You don't. So there is no, you don't know because you ain't a woman. You need to have a blueprint of a woman for a woman to, yeah, but you have the basics. When you think about it, for those of you that are Christians, that follow the Christian faith, that believe in the 10 Commandments, are the 10 Commandments gender biased? Are they gender based? Thou shalt not kill, is that only for men? No, it's right and wrong. It's the foundation. It's the basic principles for you to follow. You don't have to be a man or a woman to know that what the fuck she's doing is wrong. You don't need a blueprint to show you that this is wrong. Now, you can get into the deep intricacies and the different dynamics of all of the things that do occur and come about in a woman's life. Yes, you can get into that. And yes, there are certain things that only a woman can teach a woman. Yes, there are certain things that only a man can teach a boy. Absolutely. We missing the basics, though. We missing the basics. That's our problem. We are missing those things that said, hey, you don't do this. Hey, you don't do that. Hey, you don't have unprotected sex with a man that you don't know. You don't have unprotected sex with a man that is not your husband. You get married before you have kids. You don't need a fucking woman to teach you that. You don't. You don't need a woman to teach you that if you have sex without a condom, if you have sex without being on birth control pill, that you can catch a disease or you can become pregnant the first time. You don't need a woman to tell you that shit. That's the shit that men or a woman can tell you that. A person can tell you that. Your peers can tell you that. Anybody could. There are basic principles of life that we are missing today. You don't need a man or a woman to teach you that this shit here is the wrong thing to do.
Friends, bitch. Change your motherfucking lifestyle. Keep your motherfucking job. You understand what I'm saying? Stop letting folks drive your motherfucking car.
Why not cover her? Not shame her? Why mock her? She absolutely needs to be mocked. She absolutely needs to be shamed because that's the problem. People want to cover fuck shit. That's what we do in our homes today. When you have that uncle or that brother or that cousin that's fucking on the little boys and girls in the family, you motherfuckers want to cover her. You motherfuckers want to cover him, as opposed to outing and shaming those people for doing the fuck shit to those kids. Because while you so busy trying to cover her, who's covering her daughter? While you so busy trying to protect this bitch, why ain't nobody protecting her daughter? Because her daughter learned that shit from her. Her daughter learned that shit because she wasn't around. Her daughter learned that shit because she didn't cover her. So I'd be damned if I try to cover a trifling, no good, ain't shit bitch who didn't do a goddamn thing for her own kid. Fuck her and fuck everything she stands for, which is exactly why I'm showing this shit. Because this is the shit that you women need to start calling out instead of covering and uplifting ain't shit bitches. That's our problem. That's the reason why we're in the fuck shit that we're in. That is why the cycle continues. Because every time y'all see somebody doing some fuck shit and it's fucking up kids' lives and it's fucking up generations of children, all y'all want to do is hide it, sweep it under the rug, and get down on your knees and pray. Like that's gonna change some shit. No, you need to start calling this shit out. You need to start telling these motherfuckers that what they doing is wrong. And if this bitch gonna get on social media and do it, I can damn sure get on social media to talk about it. Fuck that shit. That's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing on tonight. Because that's the problem. She going around unchallenged and unfucking checked. The people that's even recording her are fucking laughing at her. Ain't nobody calling her out on her bullshit. And maybe if enough people get together and talk about this bitch, maybe at the very least, she would stop doing it on social media and just keep to herself and do it in her own fucking home. Because all the while you worried about covering this bitch, who's covering the 2 kids that's in her house right now watching her? Who's shaming her for putting on a display as a fucking parent to the 2 babies that's in her house? Who's covering them right now? Because you sure as the fuck ain't. And the way that it sounds, ain't not a damn other person in that house. So this corrupted, fucked up mind bitch is not only living her truth, but she's also fucking up 2 other kids' lives right now to this day. Because them 2 kids are gonna think that what the fuck she doing is normal and it's the thing to do. And they will continue to repeat the cycle of functioning in dysfunction. Don't get me riled up on this shit. Vroom, vroom. Shit.
Be the best you can be in the army, bitch.
Listen to them kids yelling in the back. Literally being unparented. Literally being unwatched. Them kids could be right now fucking around drinking bleach. They could be motherfucking picking up a goddamn knife and doing something to the other. You don't know what the fuck they doing because she's so wrapped up and enthralled in her fucking Facebook Live getting told session because her Facebook be lit because she the queen of this Facebook shit like she said. Meanwhile, who watching her babies?
All you gotta do is go back to school. I keep telling your ass, don't be.
I sound like Tommy. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. And in the words of Tommy, thank you for the compliment, bitch. How about that?
Be like me. Be better than me, girl.
Let that bitch stay. Oh, there I hit my mic. Let that bitch stay. She can talk that. She can say what she wants to say. She ain't saying nothing. She's not saying anything that's offensive. But what the fuck she's talking about is the very thing that I'm talking against. So we would be disagreeing.
One of these days you gonna listen to me, but God forbid it's gonna be too motherfucking late. You think I give a fuck where you end up at? I motherfucking don't. Fuck you in that baby, bitch.
That's what you want to cover. We should cover her. This is who we should cover. This woman is on Facebook Live with hundreds of motherfuckers watching, and she's saying, fuck you and that baby, bitch. So fuck my daughter and my grandchild, bitch. This is the woman we should cover. Really? This is what we should be covering her and uplifting her, looking at the positive aspects of her as opposed to shaming her. Fuck that.
And I meant that. And fuck Louise too. How about
Fuck
that?
grandma too.
See, 'cause Louise
That she, exactly. You heard what she just said? She said, fuck grandma too. She talking about her own mama this way. And ain't nobody saying shit. You want to cover this bitch. The bitch is tearing, that's literally just tearing a new asshole for her daughter, her mama, and her grandchild. She's saying, fuck all them. This the motherfucker though we need to be covering. Reward, you know what? Let me tell you something. Let me give y'all a parenting tip. One of the biggest problems that we make as parents is that we reward bad behavior by not having our children suffer some type of consequences for their behaviors. Our kids can come home with fucked up grades. Our kids can do fucked up shit in school. Our kids cannot contribute anything to the household. And we steady buying them shit, taking them places, giving them shit, and letting them have shit because we think that giving them and buying them shit is what makes us good parents because we giving them stuff. Kid come home with all F's and you still buying them fucking Jordans. Kid come home because kid done cut school for 2 weeks straight. What you go do? You buy him the new Call of Duty when the shit come out. Because you didn't have a fucking Xbox when your ass was a kid. Now you think your kid should have not just an Xbox, but every goddamn Xbox game that's ever made. You ain't teaching your kids shit. You ain't teaching them a goddamn thing as far as being responsible and accountable for their actions when you're rewarding everything that they not doing with shit that you steady want to give them because it make your ass feel good. You're the asshole in that equation. Because the kid doesn't know. The kid doesn't know better. But we, as the parents, because it make us feel good to give our kids shit, we continue to reward bad behavior. You didn't do your homework? Fine. I'll go take you to McDonald's. You didn't turn in your book report? That's okay. We'll do it on the back end. We'll fix it later. We'll do extra credit. Oh, you said you was fighting your teacher? Oh, well, I wonder what she did to make you want to fight. That's what the fuck we do. And we send our kids not only a bad message, but we teach them the worst possible lesson in life, which is it don't matter what the fuck you do, we still gonna give you shit. We still owe you shit. And that's why these young kids today grow up so fucking entitled, thinking they can have whatever they want because they just showed the fuck up. I'm here, reward me for coming, motherfucker. That's how our kids are today. Well, not mine, but that's how most kids are.
bitch, I had you. You came up out of my pussy. You came up out of my pussy. Eat my ass, bitch. So ain't now no road I had. Go motherfucking disrespect me. This what the fuck you wanted, right? This what the fuck you wanted.
And you know what the fucked up part about this is? Sam Hudson, I guarantee you that you don't have one of these videos. And here's where I'm calling the bullshit. I guarantee you, Sam Hudson, you don't have a Facebook video like this. You don't have a Facebook live session where you dragging your motherfucking kids, if you got kids. I bet you don't have one of these, but you will watch this and you will say, oh, we need to help her Fuck the fact of the kids that she's fucking up. Fuck the fact of the disrespect and just the lack of actually being a responsible parent that she's shucking and just totally having total disregard for. Totally having total disregard for. We'll just use one total. Just totally disregarding. She's just doing this, and as opposed to you wanting as a mother to combat that, you want to cover it. And you say she is sick. Yes. And if you saw a motherfucker that had the goddamn what's that movie, Outbreak? Y'all remember the movie Outbreak with the monkey that had the virus? And the virus was killing hundreds of thousands of people? And based on your logic, by what you saying when you see that patient zero show the fuck up that's infected, you want to embrace that sick motherfucker with the virus into the whole community because that person's sick, as opposed to isolating that motherfucker first and then trying to see if it's possible to treat him. You understand what I'm saying? We got this thing to where just because you can say, oh, well, that person got something wrong with her. Yeah, but if that person is fucking poisoning the whole fucking well, if that one apple is poisoning a bunch, why the fuck would you leave that apple in there? Because it very well may not be the apple's fault, but you goddamn sure enough don't leave that apple in the fucking bunch with the rest of them. You just don't do that. You just don't do that. That's our problem. We so busy to try to coddle and try to cover, as you said, these fuck ain't shit bitches. We try to coddle them even though they're destroying their fucking children. They're destroying the image of being a woman and a mother, and they're teaching that shit to the other young children, the other young generations. We're so busy trying to take care of these motherfuckers that we're letting them poison the rest of the fucking well. And then we wonder, like, why is this water so fucked up? Why this water so bad? Because we're spending too much time. You can't save a motherfucker like that. That bitch, she ain't 50. She sure looking. You can't save this bitch. You want to save the kids. You want to save her children. You want to save her grandchildren from her toxic ass. Covering is hiding. What the fuck is you talking about? Covering is hiding. Say what you want to say. Covering is hiding. I know, look up the definition of covering. Yes, you want to look. This is covering. There's no mic there now, is it? I can see the mic, and I know that the mic is there, but no one else can. They just think it's a rag right here. When everybody look at the shape of it, hear the fucking sound that they're hearing coming from my voice, they're going to at least say, well, maybe there might be something under that rag. No, that's what the fuck we do today. What we really need to do is do this. Nah, motherfucker, that's a microphone, goddammit. Know what the fuck that is? Covering is hiding. Sweeping the shit under the rug. That whole idea of what happened in our house, stay in our house. Don't y'all tell nobody that your uncle fucked your little brother. Don't nobody say nothing about your daddy fucking your sister. Yeah, I know I caught him on top of him the other night, but y'all don't say nothing. That's our business. Then when our little brother turned out to be the choir director fucking all the kids at the church, we wonder why. Then when our sister turns out to be a motherfucking hoe in the streets and she fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the fucking hood, it gets caught in the locker room running a fucking train at the school, then we wonder why. Why this little bitch like that? Then we want to go on live and cuss the bitch out. The fuck out my face on the internet. And you notice this. Here's the other part to this. The relatives or the friends that's watching this, they're not even offended. They've been in the dysfunction for so long that it's actually normal behavior to them. They're not taking the stance that I'm taking, where I'm fucking pissed off, shocked, appalled, upset, sad, discouraged. They're not taking that approach. They're looking at it from an entertainment perspective only. They laughing at this bitch.
Bitch, I let you come back and stay with me a few times. But bitch, you ain't gonna disrespect me in my motherfucking house. Cause show is my name Diamond, bitch. I put my foot in your ass. And just like I did, I let your ass go. You grown. You got your own child. I don't owe you shit. And like I said, the only ones I'm concerned about, that's Dave, that's Miracle, and that's motherfucking Tank. Bitch, I ain't even stand that motherfucking grandbaby, bitch. Grandbaby who? Grandbaby where?
So she just named her 3 other kids and just said fuck her other grandbaby. You hear that, right? She just said fuck. If it ain't these 3 kids that I got now, fuck all the other kids and other grandkids I got.
Bitch, you ain't let
Your
me see
kids
it.
breaking
When
shit in
you
the
had a
background.
bitch, I ain't see that baby
I know
till
I
you
just
turned
heard a
2
whole
months.
fucking kitchen
So
window break.
bitch, you can suck my ass backwards.
He just bust your shit.
You hear this shit?
Okay, y'all get in there.
Little nigga fucking up, ain't they? Fucking some shit up. And what's she doing? Y'all get on there. Y'all get over there. Y'all get in there.
Get in the room
Get in the room.
and don't come out. Get in there. Don't come out.
Get in that room and don't come out. Now, let's just be real. Imagine the type of bitch this is. No, you ain't gotta imagine. You can see what type of bitch this is. You can pretty much gather the type of life she's lived. So you can pretty much guesstimate the type of lifestyle she's living, and knowing that she's probably living in your local ghetto ass neighborhood. Imagine the type of shit that's in that house, or the current state of that house and what's in there, and how them kids are living, and where the fuck she's locking them up at in this room. They locked up in this room and they cannot move, 'cause this bitch is dragging her other kids.
I said get in there
Listen to her.
while I tell this little motherfucker off.
Listen to
Y'all
her
say
talking
I
to
did
her
it. Don't
kids
worry
like
about it,
this.
okay? It was an accident, okay? I know.
So they done broke some shit. Nah, this ain't no 1100. This has got to be a BT 900 or one of them. This is an older model here. This bitch, at least she's well over 40. So these kids done broke some shit. As opposed to cleaning the shit up, getting the shit taken together, let me get off this live so I can get my kids safe, get my kids straight, because they fucking up. Nope, I'm going to put their ass and lock their ass up in this other room, and I'm going to get back to dragging this bitch.
It was an accident, baby. It's okay, all right? I love you. Y'all play in here, okay?
You know you don't talk like
All
that.
right.
You gonna be in there, bitch.
Now back to what the fuck I was saying. Let me tell you something, Madison. You can shut the fuck up. 'Cause bitch, you don't motherfucking know me. Don't nobody know my motherfucking story. Well, they do know my story. But I don't owe nobody shit. Let me tell you something. She brought this on Facebook. When a motherfucker make a post about their motherfucking mama, I want to give thanks to my mom. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. But that bitch, Debraca, can't say shit to me. Let me tell you something. I had that little hoe. I'd be damn if a bitch get on here and make a post about motherfucking me. You hear me?
And this is what we supposed to cover. As a matter of fact, let me practice what I preach. The definition of cover: put something such as a cloth or lid on top of or in front of something in order to protect or conceal it. All right? Heard that right? Okay. Now, let's go over to hide. Put or keep out of sight. Conceal from the view or notice of others. Conceal. Cover and hide are the same thing. Just saying. What's good? Thank you everybody for coming in. Click that like button. Click the subscribe button. Salute to everybody that showed up. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it.
So I don't give a fuck what nobody got to motherfucking say. I have to endure this. And I got all the motherfucking text messages of this little whole dish motherfucking respect. I don't have to kiss no motherfucking child ass for no time or none of that. Or for no love from her motherfucking ass. I found myself trying to make up for lost time. I ain't gotta make up for a motherfucking thing. That's what's wrong. I'm not a white motherfucking person. She gon' get it like a T.I. motherfucking is.
I'm not a white motherfucking person. She gon' get it how it T.I. is. I'm not a white person. She gon' get it like it T.I. is. How do you equate you being respectful, carrying yourself in a respectable manner, not being an ignorant, loud, obnoxious bitch on Facebook? How do you equate that to being black or white? How is that a black or white thing? Only so you telling me that only black people do this shit, and to not do this would mean that you're more white. Ain't it funny how whenever black women talking about shit, when black people, when we talk about doing the right thing, when we talk about doing the proper thing, that it's white. Oh, that's what white folk do. Oh, that's what white people do. When it talks about being anything that is nice, anything that is just being pleasant, cordial, speaking proper English, it's white stuff. That's what white folk do. That's what white folks do. That's what that is. Why is that something that we equate to only a color or a race of person, a race of people have the capacity to do? Why is that? I don't understand how we even got to this point.
No white motherfucking person.
Going shopping at Tom, Dick, and Harry car. All up here, all on the east side. Wanna be a member of a blood member gang and all this
Blood member
bullshit.
gang.
Sit your motherfucking ass down somewhere, bitch. You ain't no motherfucking blood. You got a motherfucking baby, bitch. Get some sense into your motherfucking ass. That's what the fuck you do. Shit. And I mean that. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect me.
All right, let me address this, Sam. So you said you can use love to cover without shaming. Let's look at the definition of shame or shaming. A painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. One more again. A painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. So when you're talking about shaming or the act of shaming, the action part, actually, there's the verb here. Make someone feel ashamed of something that they're doing, of an action of a person or a situation to make them feel ashamed. Let me set this up for you. Obviously, I can't change this person with love because she has no love for herself, for her actions or for her any of her relatives to where she could even begin to check what it is that she's doing. So I can't love her through this. I can't love her through her fucked up behavior because she don't have enough love and respect for herself to even not exhibit that. To not exhibit that. So what I must do is I must shame her and humiliate her actions and her behaviors in order for her to feel herself, feel the shame, to feel the pain so that she can change. Case in point, when you're correcting a child, when you're correcting an animal, what do you do after you've explained it to them and they still continue to do it if it's something that's going to hurt them? That's even a part of, there's some therapists that give you the, I forgot what they call it, but there's a therapy that you take a rubber band and wrap it around your wrist, and the habit that you're trying to break, every time you do that habit, you pop the rubber band so that you teach yourself to stop doing that thing. So like, let's say for instance, if I had a nervous tic where I think I do this from time to time, especially when I'm stressed or when I'm thinking, I rub my eyebrows. If I wanted to stop myself from doing that, I put on a rubber band. And every time I do that, I have to pop myself. And eventually I will stop doing it. So there was some pain that I'm causing to myself, even though it's a not, excruciating pain, but I'm causing myself some pain to make myself change the action that I'm doing. Just like how when they talk about elephants, they banned elephants from all the circuses. Why? Because they train them motherfuckers with cattle prods. It's voltage, whips. That's what they do. It's inhumane. As a society, we've deemed it being inhumane to do animals like that. I personally don't like the fucking idea of animals being in the circus that are tamed like that. I don't. I think it is fucked up. But that's the thing. So if I cause her to feel the pain of the action that she's doing, now I can fucking change the bitch. May not be able to save her, but I can at least hopefully get her to the point to where maybe if she still do it, someone else will see that and not want to experience the shame that comes along with that. Because she could very well be beyond the point of shame. Just like when you have your neighborhood crackhead or your wino, dude that's been drinking for 50 years of his life, you can't save him and get him to stop. It's Skinner psychology. That's what it's called. Okay, thank you, J. Lou. You can't get that drunk that's been drinking in the neighborhood to stop drinking. Because he's been doing it for so long, he ain't gonna change. But if every time your kid and you walking in the neighborhood, you see that, you say, hey, look, don't do what old man James did now. Old man James, he didn't think he was going to turn out like that, but he did because he kept drinking. He drank too much. He didn't have a job. He didn't go out and do things, or he was over in the war or whatever. You teach your kid by doing that. So people that's making fun of James, yeah, you may be doing it and it may make him feel ashamed, but the fact that he laying out in the street with his pants hanging down off his ass, he's fucked up. He has an addiction. He has a problem. He's an alcoholic, whatever you want to call it. We still need to shame the bad shit that we have in our neighborhoods, the bad shit that's in our family, not necessarily to stop that person from doing it or to change that person, but to save the other ones, if nothing else, at the very least. Because maybe, just maybe, you could shame her into stopping the fuck shit she doing. You could change the way that she carries herself, at least on Facebook Live. Well, I ain't gonna go live like that on Facebook no more, because it was a bunch of motherfuckers that was dogging my ass, as opposed to thousands of people thumbs up in her ass. That's just like that video I did about maybe 8 or 9 months ago about the woman who went on live to beat her daughter. Dog walked her daughter, beat her ass, punched her, kicked her, did all kind of shit to her, degraded her on social media. And you know what the fuck those people were doing by the thousands? Thumbs up. Yeah, that's good old tough love. Yeah, that's what mamas do. Yeah, that's right. Go get her, girl. Get her straight. Not realizing the fact that the daughter wouldn't have been doing the fuck shit she was doing if she had been a better parent in the first fucking place. And the second thing is, you don't have to fucking correct your kid on fucking social media. You don't fucking have to take your child and put your child on social media and you fucking abusing your child. Who the fuck films that? So that's why I say what we need to do is to shame a motherfucker. Make a motherfucker feel bad. Talk about them. Because what they're doing is wrong. And if you don't call it out, if you don't say shit negative about it, they're going to keep doing it. You know, at one point in time, people thought it was okay to hang niggas. At one point in time, people thought it was okay to not let niggas come in through the front door. Until some people got together and said, no, we need to talk about this shit. Even though they beating us for it. We need to march about this shit. Even though they sicking dogs on us. We need to talk about, march about, we need to do videos about this shit, put it on TV, even though they fucking beating us for it. Even though they spitting on us for it. Why? Because it's the right thing to do and we can uphold it with the law that's already been written that says we ain't supposed to do this shit. Now, not that what this bitch is doing is against the law. It damn sure should be. But we all know as a society that, and as our culture dictates, this is fucking wrong. And people need to talk about it instead of trying to cover it, instead of trying to hide it. We need to be shaming it. But if y'all going, and then Sam says, but if y'all going to talk about her, do this face to face. I'll have this bitch on my show, but if this bitch can go live about it, so the fuck can I? Absolutely. I don't mind having a conversation. I don't mind telling that bitch what you did was fucked up and wrong. You should never do it again. I don't have a problem with that at all. But the fact that she did it and she put it on social media, I get every right to go out here and do this. I wouldn't have never known anything about this bitch had she kept her motherfucking self off live. If she would have had this conversation face to face with her daughter instead of doing it face to face on social media, we wouldn't have this video. I wouldn't be here. And if I would be, I'd be talking about something else. Not this. And I guarantee you that she done been with plenty of fuck shit, ain't shit niggas her damn self. Yes, that's a hoop, April, in her lip. I don't know where the attractiveness is or the sexiness in that is. I don't know. I've yet to see any of any woman with that shit in her lip and be like, oh, that looks nice. I've yet to see it. So I don't know why the fuck people are doing it, but I don't know. It is what it is. If you didn't want her to go through what you went through, do you think this is going to help her do it? Do you think that this is going to be the way to get through her? Because at the end, well, in all actuality, you set her up for this. You put her in position for this. You put her in the environment to where she could continue the same fucked up cycle that I'm quite sure you did, because I bet my last dollar that their lives are probably parallel with the exception of drugs. But I'm sure that bitch get high. She may not be on that rock, but I guarantee you that bitch smoke hella weed. And here's the other thing. If we covered these women when they did this, we're essentially telling them, go do whatever you want to do in life. Be the worst ain't shit bitch you can possibly be. Because when you decide to get your life together, just come back and we'll cover you. We'll uplift you. We'll forgive you for all that you've done to you, yourself, your children, and your family, that everybody's had to suffer and watch and feel the effects of your fucked up choices in life. We'll cover you when you decide to come back and get your life right. Or once you get so fucking old that don't nobody want you no more, and you start having the reality of you gonna probably wind up being a homeless bitch, and now you need to get your shit together so you can get off the streets.
But if you don't take nothing I motherfucking said, and you shouldn't be mad about being called bitches and hoes, cause your motherfucking friends call you bitches and hoes every day. That's your name, right, bitch? Oh, shit. You talk to me like that. Did you just call me bitches and hoes? Did you just erase the motherfucking post and told me to get the fuck on? This what the fuck you wanted. So when I turn up like this, bitch, you wanna play pussy?
Oleta Wiseman, what the fuck are you saying? I'm ignoring you about. I don't even know what the fuck you're saying, because you putting all these stupid ass signs in what it is I guess you may be saying. Let me see if I can go back. Let's see. Why is this shit doing this? She needs to be assessed for parenting skills. You can't shame somebody who may not know how to raise children. That's why I said what I said about saying you do shame the behavior, because you may not be able to change this bitch. You may not be able to reach this bitch. She may be too far gone. But if everybody's shaming the behavior, then others won't do it. That's just like people who go out and fucking murder people. If we were to cheer that shit on and put motherfuckers on TV like, damn, look at how he murked that motherfucker. Woo, the way he killed that motherfucker. That dude just walked up on the street and was like, cow, and we made it a big thing where motherfuckers could go on social media and just talk about the shit and say, yeah, and there were no ramifications for it. If there was nothing that would happen to you for it, more and more people would do it. They would try to kill motherfuckers in more heinous ways, in the most heinous ways possible, to get the biggest response and the reaction and thumbs up from the kids. From the people. So that's why they would do that. But because we have things like prison, lethal injection, electric chair, motherfucking freedom taken, even though the shit still happens, society looks at it as a bad thing. And they look at it as a thing to say, well, first and foremost, motherfucker, we need to lock you the fuck up. Now, once we lock your ass up, we can figure out why the fuck you're doing what you're doing. But we gonna lock your ass up first. Ain't nobody locking this bitch up. So she's perpetuating the fucked up shit that she has. So whether she can parent, or she's a good parent, or she don't know how to parent, I don't give a fuck. She's already a parent. So we need to stop the bitch's behavior and shame that, so that it won't be perpetuated. Because I guarantee you that bitch's daughter is a spitting image of her, which is why she's so busy dogging her ass. I bet you she is. And you see it time and time again. That's why she said, when you was young, your ass looked like you looking better than me. Bitch, why would you care about her looking better than you? Why would you care about her body being better than yours and you a grown-ass woman? Because you competing. like most women do. That's why you need a father in the house to make sure that shit don't go on. So he can keep the motherfucking daughter in check and he can keep the mama at bay. Look, sometimes women go too fucking far. Sometimes women get too emotional. Sometimes women get out of their fucking lane and do and say dumb shit. They just do for whatever reason. That's why you need fathers in the home, because they govern shit. We're not looking at our sons saying, yeah, this little nigga, he's stronger than me. This little nigga, we're looking at that nigga like, yeah, nigga, you strong. Yeah, nigga, you cut up, but I'm smarter. I've been here longer. We rely on, we know what we as men, we know, yeah, little nigga, I was like you at one point. I got you. I'm still smarter than your ass. Because men know, a daddy knows, nigga, you can be smarter than me. I mean, you can be younger than me. You can be faster than me. But nigga, please believe, I know how to knock a motherfucker out too, and I will knock your ass out. Just because you my kid. Now, there is a time that comes to where that shit don't matter no more. But during that time, when that kid is a teenager, and you in your 40s, man, you know, nigga, my motherfucking 14-year-old son will get his ass beat. My 17-year-old son will get fucked up. Now, when that nigga about 26 or 27, that might be different. But when they having that, when they're in, but in that, at that age, they're in a different mind state. When they're going through puberty, they're trying to, you know, they smelling themselves, they see their body changing, they seeing that they can do things, they aggressive, their dick stay hard for forever, whatever the case may be. They can fuck 4-5 times in a day, no problem. Go to work, ain't got to sleep but 2 hours, and they good for the next 2 days. That's your youth. But men, we understand, yeah, it's great to have youth, but it's also great to have knowledge. That's what we understand. A lot of women don't understand that because they don't understand what being a woman is really about when it comes to longevity. Women today, and I was just talking about this the other day. Women today don't understand that it ain't just about your body. Your body is wonderful when it's young and it's vibrant and your titties standing up and your ass is nice and round and all of that. That's a great time in your life. From that time when you're about maybe 16 to about maybe 28, yes, your body could be banging. But that's fleeting. It changes. And as it changes, there are younger women that are going to look better than you. That's going to have bigger titties than you. That's going to have titties that sit up better than yours. They're going to have an ass that's rounder than yours. They're going to have a pussy that's tighter than yours. However, that's not all there is to being a woman. Yes, men like young women. But men appreciate an older woman that got her shit together. If I got a motherfucking young 18-year-old bitch that's looking amazing, great, that's wonderful. However, that bitch don't have nothing for me being an older man. She ain't got nothing on no 45-year-old doctor. You give me a 45-year-old doctor making 6 figures, got her life together, ain't got no motherfucking bills, and got good credit. Yeah, I know, young thing, you look good and all that, but this motherfucker right here is one up in your ass. Yeah, you got the body check box, but career, credit, resources, motherfucking able to cook, clean, shit. Please. And that's what I always try to tell young women. It's great to have a young body and to have all of the attention from men and all that good shit. That's wonderful. Enjoy it. But you also need to take that time to set yourself up for the win. That's why you got so many old, especially black women. You got all these old ass black women going back to school when what? They 35. You done been fucked on. You done did all the sucking you can do. You done got enough. You can't get no more red bottoms or no more Louis bags with your pussy no more because that's tired. You now your titties sagging. Now your ass is sagging and got cottage cheese in your legs and thighs. Now you want to go back to school and get yourself an education so you can actually take care of yourself. No, you need to do that shit when you in your 20s. Get yourself set up for your 40s in your 20s. Yeah, you can have a nigga tell you, oh, baby, you so fine, I'll take care of you for the rest of your days. Okay, but let me finish this doctorate first. Oh, baby, you so fine, I'm going to love you forever, girl. We going to have a bunch of kids together. I'm a basketball player. We got money, no money in the thing, girl. I spend and buy whatever you want. Okay, that's great, Leroy. But let me go ahead and get this doctorate first. Then I can chill and we can do all that. That's great. I think that was easy. I was talking to about this, my brother. And I said, I will never forget how when we were in Michigan, my daughter's doctor, my wife's doctor too, the doctor that birthed my daughter. She told us after daughter was here, she was like maybe 3 or something at that time. And she came, we went to go, get her a checkup, her little annual checkup. And we went to go see her. She said, yeah, no, she was younger than that. She was like maybe 1. We took her in and she said, yeah, guys, in about 6 months, I'm going to be closing my practice. And we like, what? Like, what the fuck you mean? You just, what doctor closes their practice? She said, well, it's not really just closing. She said, I'm putting it on hold. Why are you putting it on hold? Well, my kids are now, they're 2 and 3 and I want to be at home with my children. Well, how you going to do? Well, my husband's a doctor and he's gonna, do his practice is doing great. Just like, both of our practices are doing great, but his practice is doing great, and he makes enough money to where I can stay at home. Once my kids get a little bit older and they get into school and stuff like that full time, then I'll probably come back. But probably for the next maybe 3 to 5 years, I'm gonna be at home. So this woman was already a doctor. Established her practice. Had a booming fucking business. Booming practice. Killing it. You go in that motherfucker, miss your appointment, your ass ain't gonna get in there for 2-3 months. Unless a cancellation occurs. Easy. Booming practice. Husband, booming practice as well. He's making enough to where she can stop being a doctor and stay at home for years, not 6 months. Not for a couple of weeks, years. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. So that means we've made enough. We paying off all our student loans, whatever we may have, all our medical loan, all that shit is being paid off. We got enough to do that and live the life we're living now, and I can stay at home every day. Now, here's the thing. What happens in 3 to 5 years? Kids in school, they off doing their thing. They, kids have been taken care of. What do? I go back and open up my practice. My name's still intact. I'm a bad, cold-ass doctor. Nigga, I know what the fuck to do with these kids and these women. I can pick up where I left off, essentially. But I was at home with my children, and I was being a mother and a wife to my family. She set herself up for that. She didn't wait till she was 35 to be like, what about me? She didn't wait till she was 40 to say, I want to do something. I want to get myself together now. I done sacrificed all my life for my kids and my niggas I done been with throughout the years. Now I got to do something for me. No, she did that for herself when she was 20, when she was 24. I just talked to my niece a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to my niece, Kayla. I love you, baby girl. I said, so what you gonna do with yourself? She's in college, beautiful young girl. I said, what you gonna do with yourself? What you doing? Well, I'm in school. I said, I know you in school, you in college. What you gonna do though? I'm still gonna be a dental hygienist. I said, what the fuck you mean you gonna be a dental hygienist? I said, that's the motherfucker that clean the teeth, right? She said, yeah. I said, why you gonna do that? She said, well, I like cleaning teeth. I said, okay, that's great. Go be a fucking dentist that likes to clean teeth. She said, well, that's not what they really do. I said, bullshit. I said, you can't become a dentist without being a hygienist, right? Yeah. I said, exactly. Go be a dentist, open up your practice, and then you clean teeth whenever the fuck you want to clean teeth. But you still a dentist. I said, you get that DDS behind your name. I said, because if you want to have red bottoms, you want to drive a Range Rover, you want a $400,000 house, you need to be a dentist. I said, fuck all that hygienist shit. I said, being a hygienist, you working for somebody else. You got to do what they tell you to do. That means you got to clean all the fucked up teeth that they don't want to clean, all the fucked up mouths that you don't want to be bothered with. Them the ones you got to do because you the hygienist. Be the dentist. Deal with it when you want to, the way you want to, because you have your own practice. Or you partner with several other dentists and y'all got a booming practice. That's what you do. I said, don't you put yourself in a position to where you got to work for another motherfucker when you don't have to. Yeah, that makes sense, Uncle. I'm going to go talk to my, I said, you damn sure need to go talk to your counselor and get on the right track. But you see the mentality of it. She wants to do something good. I ain't tripping on her for that. But because of the decisions that she would be making, she would look up and be like, why the fuck didn't I go be a dentist? Well, now you 35. 2 kids. Now you trying to go be a dentist too. No, you do that now. Be a dentist and then say, I don't want to do nothing but clean teeth for after I got my doctorate and all that stuff. I'm going to clean teeth for the next 6 months. Okay. You can clean for the next 20 years if you want to. You can find you a husband and he can become the next whatever. The next Bill Gates. Great. You can still be a dental hygienist, but you have your dentistry credentials. I am a dentist. I just like cleaning teeth. Tell a motherfucker that when you quit. Mr. Jones, you always got me doing these fucked up and all this shit. You got me doing all the worst teeth. I'm doing 12 motherfucking miles a day. I'm tired. Well, if you're going to work here, you're going to have to. You know what? You right. I don't have to be here, Mr. Jones. I can go start my own fucking practice. Why? Because I got my shit already. That's the position you want to be in. Women, put yourself in a position to where you can take care of your fucking self first. And not just take care of yourself to get by, but take care of yourself well. Put yourself in a position where you can buy yourself whatever you want. You can live wherever you want, and you can have whatever you want. You can drive whatever you want. If you can't go to a store and buy the red bottoms and Louis and Chanel that you want, bitch, you got work to do. Because that's where you need to be. Don't be dependent on no nigga to do that shit for you. Now, if you can find one that will do it for you, great. More power to you. Enjoy it. But goddamn it, put yourself in a position to where you don't have to have that. If he don't buy me no red bottoms, I ain't getting no red bottoms. No. Put yourself in a position to say, nigga, I buy my own red bottoms. Well, nigga ain't got to hold you over your head that he bought you some red bottoms. He bought you some Chanel. I want my dick sucked. I just bought you some red bottoms. Don't you ever put yourself in that position, because a lot of women do. And you find yourself playing with some old ass balls from some old ass nigga who got some money, spending it on your ass, and now you got a motherfucking quid pro quo. He done scratched your motherfucking fashion back long enough. Now you got to scratch his sexual back. I done bought your ass 3 pairs of red bottoms and 2 motherfucking Gucci purses. Bitch, I'm fucking your face tonight. Most women gonna oblige it because they like, damn, nigga did. Let me get my throat together. Now you got some old ass nigga on top of you pumping and sweating while you sitting there rethinking your life, talking about I need to go back to school now. This is fucked up. I need to get my life together. You should have been doing that shit when you was motherfucking 22. But when you was 22, you had them young rich niggas chasing you. That's ridiculous.
But I'ma fuck you the right way.
I'm gonna fuck you the right way.
You like that word, don't you? Now get out there and make that money, bitch. Because that's what I do. Bitch, I make shit happen. Even when I ain't got shit, bitch, I make shit happen. That motherfucking way. LaShawn, you shut the fuck up. You understand
Oh, Letter, I see that you put something else in here. She said that's all you got to say. Let me see. My comments were nice. I've always been respectful, but I don't come here for others to be rude to me for no reason. What the fuck? I done missed some shit I see. Wow, I was suggesting instead of telling Brian how to run his channel, just start your own and start calling me names. By the way, I have a master's degree in counseling. Thank you very much. Oh wow. Oh Letter, do you want to call in and get your point across? You let me know and I can do that. And we can figure that out. So let me know. Do I have the shit I need? Yes, I do. I do have what I need. If you would like to call in and to get your point across, then you can do that. Let me know. And I see I'm out of my class. I don't know what the fuck that. I guess he's getting ready. If she's still here, I don't know. But just let me know. You are out of your league. Y'all done went hard, huh? Yeah, but let me know if you would like to do that. And then you can say your position or what it is that you're trying to say. Because there's obviously some discourse going on. Brought up my degree because she called me uneducated. Oh, wow, she did. Oh, see, I didn't even see all that. I was off running my mouth, and that's when I guess all this shit was going on. But y'all know it's hard for me to watch the chat and to speak as eloquently as I do. Thank you very much. But it's hard for me to do that sometimes. So, yeah, I saw the part where she said, "Why are you ignoring me?" Like I said, I didn't even really pay no attention just because of the shit. I know you are deliberately ignoring me. I am a professional. I honestly wasn't deliberately ignoring you. If you wanted to get my attention, you could have just said, "Hey, question," or something like that. All that extra shit, that shit don't move me. All the extra emojis or whatever you put in there. Let's see. Whether you are wrong, I am a professional. Do you feel intimidated by me? Oh gosh, intimidated by you. Wow. Why don't you start your own channel, your own YouTube channel, and give professional parenting classes? Right. I get that for sure. Somebody said, "Oh, Letter tripping." Then she says, "Just like the knockout game, it was cute and funny. Everyone was doing it." Exactly, Lanisha. Very, very true. Great point. Her daughter tired of her. Yep. And then let's see what else she says. She's a professional and she's a parent. She made me okay. I don't see nothing else. Don't see nothing else. I'm trying to just catch up and get up to speed. Vicky Meeks, I am who I say I am. I get an education. You not smart enough to talk to me. Oh shit. I can read you like a book too. You got no education, jealous, envy. You can't learn nothing. Got a Siri? Guess Siri is something. I don't know. I ain't gonna try to figure that out. Let's see. Oh, Letter Wiseman, wow. I was suggesting instead, okay, master's degree. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Then very smart. Yep. Meeks is smart. I've been reading her posts for days. Yep. Yeah, my comments were nice. I've always been respectful, but I don't come here for others to be rude to me for no reason. Yeah, she had a point with that one. That's all you got to say. I can teach or educate you, providing you shut up and listen. Right. And see, this is my thing. I'm gonna say that right after I read this. Let me finish that. Experienced in many fields, degreed and degreed. Man, say it loud. Say it loud. Exactly. Men and women should do that, especially black men are lacking in the 40s and 50s trying to live off of women. Facts. Yeah. All right. Okay, Miss Oletta, whatever you say. Then I'm too educated for some and what? For some? Is that what she's trying to say? We don't care, Oletta. Y'all ain't shit. Brian has helped me see where I need to make changes as a woman. I'm dealing with men and mothering. Any positive change makes the world better for all of us. I'm too educated, killing some of you now. Killing some of you. Wow. Two, not two. Yep, I saw that. I got you on that one. All right, let's see. That was good and petty. I like it. I don't see shit else. I don't think so that I'm missing. I see I'm out of my class. Right. Leather year. Brian is deliberately ignoring me. I think it's because I'm white. All right. So here's my thing with this. As you can clearly see, and this is why I definitely learned this from Tommy. You hear motherfuckers talk about they got degrees, and one of the things he taught me was just the fact that it's a degree of knowledge. It's a degree in whatever it is you've learned, a degree. It doesn't mean you are all knowing. It's a degree of what you know. Doesn't mean that you know everything. And to just prove that point, you being as educated as you are, degrees on top of degrees and all that shit you said, you couldn't even articulate yourself in a respectful manner with a person who was simply disagreeing with you to the point to where you began to insult them. And you can clearly see the other person who has degrees of knowledge or degree of knowledge, how they carried themselves and didn't go down the rabbit hole or onto the lane that you went into. So, yes, you may have degrees. You may have 5 degrees or 10 degrees. That still doesn't prove the point of you saying just because you have this, that you are better than anybody else in that particular field or in a particular subject matter. It just doesn't. So it's like the fact that you weren't even able to have a conversation because you disagree with somebody. You thought that because your degrees or you have degrees that you supersede what other people say. And when somebody proved you wrong on that shit, what did you do? You went back to some ghetto hood ignorant shit. And the person who didn't, in my opinion, seemed to be the more educated of the two. Kudos to you, Miss Meeks. But let's continue.
Because y'all gonna sit there and listen to this little motherfucker. You don't see the text messages that I motherfucking get. And the way she dogged your motherfucking ass out, baby, you need to go stand in a motherfucking corner. Real talk. I'm talking about real talk. Yes, my own motherfucking daughter. That motherfucking way. When she disrespect me, this what the fuck you get. You think I care about a little child motherfucking feelings? No, I do not. Especially with the disrespect that I done encountered from this little motherfucker.
And here's my thing. Could this woman here have her degree? Could she have went to Everest College? Could she have went to some online college and got her degree? She sure in the fuck could. And what would that mean with how she's carrying herself and how she's speaking? It wouldn't mean a thing. It would not mean a thing. This woman could very well have gotten her bachelor's degree or her associate's degree in whatever and be doing this exact same shit. It doesn't mean a thing. If you're not able to actually take what it is that you know and what you learned and apply it in a sense and in a manner to where you can clearly see that, hey, what this person is doing and what this person knows is based on not just what they have as far as book sense, but also as common sense and life experience. If you can't couple that shit together, it's useless. Casey, look at anybody look at Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil not only has his credentials, but he's also smart enough to be able to take his life experience and also be able to take what he knows as common sense, and he couples that into his entire persona. So when he is speaking, he can speak to you on a personal level as a one-on-one. He can talk to you in that sense. And he can go straight clinical on your ass and tell you exactly what's going on. Hey, we could have some problems with your brain. We could have some problems with this. We can have some problems with that. But he's also smart enough to realize that, yeah, I have my credentials and my degrees, but that doesn't make me the smartest person in the room. The fact that I get a team of people that are just as smart, if not smarter than me, and I have them be a part of my team, that makes me the smartest person in the room. Because I'm able to leverage the resources that I have and not only just rely on just my expertise, but I can rely on the expertise of my peers that are in some areas better than me in some areas the top of my game of the game or in that area, to where now I have a lot more smart people in the room, and I'm the one that brings them together so that we can do what we're doing on our show, on my show. Think about how many times Dr. Phil has somebody on his show and he says this person is the top person in this field. This person is the top person when it comes to brain chemistry. This person is the top person when it comes to drug rehab and all. He knows about that stuff, but he would still rather have the topmost, foremost person in that area on his team working with them. So just because you have degrees on degrees on degrees doesn't mean that what you're saying and what you're doing and what you've learned in your books is necessarily the best thing or the right thing. You have to couple that with all of the extenuating circumstances and what we're talking about, and then say, yeah, the fact that you want to cover this person and take care of this person, if that's your thing that you think you should do, great, go do that. I'm not educated to the point, I don't have my doctorate to where I can analyze this person and say, oh, what's wrong with this person is her cerebral cortex is suffering from a putrefaction of her adrenal glands that supply the endorphins to her. I don't know that shit, but I can definitely tell you that her behavior is fucked up and her behavior needs to be talked about. Her behavior needs to be shamed. I can absolutely tell you that. I'm not one claiming to be the one who can psychoanalyze this bitch to a better life. I'm not saying that. But I can tell you that her motherfucking life is fucked up, and I want her to know that her life is so fucked up as to how she's behaving, that she needs to seek the person who can psychoanalyze her and get her shit together. My point.
Tell you something. Some of the shit she said to me, if I was strong, would have sent me back out there in them streets on drugs again. But God, when God deliver you, he deliver you. And it ain't nothing that little motherfucker and her friends can say that'll take me back to that space that I used to be in. And I mean that. I motherfucking mean that. While you around here popping that little funky kitty cat.
Bye.
Bitch, go to somebody clinic and let them know how them little panties be standing up.
Standing up.
While you trying to kill a motherfucking baby. Don't talk about your mama, cause bitch, I'll drag you on this motherfucker.
With them
You hear
standing
me?
up.
On Facebook.
Standing
bitch,
up.
already 700 views, bitch. I will drag you on this motherfucker. And won't give a fuck about how I look. Cause God is my daddy. I don't have to answer to nobody on this motherfucker. Everybody know I don't give a fuck. But ain't now child I motherfucking had gonna motherfucking disrespect me. Then you off here leaving that baby on every motherfucking body but your motherfucking self. Bitch, if you didn't want him, you
Seems familiar, doesn't it? Because while she was out in the streets getting high, getting fucked, smoking, drinking, straight west coasting, bitches putting ass in motion, pussy popping, cocaine toting, got a bump. What do you think her daughter was being done? She was being put off on everybody else, like her mama. So just like how she's saying her daughter is putting her baby off on everybody else, she did the same exact shit. And she got the nerve to call her out and talk about her ass on live about doing the same shit she did. Okay.
should have kept your motherfucking legs closed. And then you just have a motherfucking miscarriage. Do you even know who the fuck that baby daddy is? Oh, it's Pat. And let me tell you, his daddy is my friend, bitch. Yeah, Jack Jones. Bitch, he didn't want you cause you're a motherfucking freak. Niggas don't want to deal with nobody who all the way out there. He turned you a loser, bitch, cause you a freak.
Her
Bitch,
nostrils.
you done had how many? Girl, you better shut the fuck up. You better shut the fuck up. You understand me? Cause bitch, I will drag you on this motherfucker.
Do you hear that? That's her mother talking like this.
You understand me? You don't know if you want to eat some pussy or take some motherfucking dick.
Yeah.
And I have been telling you that God don't like little girls with other little girls. You trying to
Oh,
experience.
you going too
And
far.
she didn't have to do none of that. I done did all that for you.
You was sleeping.
Your real mama. Bitch, I did all that for you.
All that for her.
So don't sit here and everybody want to say, ooh, this your daughter. Let me see something. Y'all know y'all be cussing these motherfucking children out. I want to see this little motherfucker make it. I want to be better than what the fuck I was. Tell them how hard I stayed on your ass. Ebony, finish school, baby. So you don't have to work at no fast food restaurants. So you don't have to work for no motherfucking back. Finish school, baby.
What the
Be
fuck is you
somebody
saying
in
on this, bro?
motherfucking life. Don't let this baby stop you. I told your ass all that.
Fucking thing.
How about if you showed her ass all that? She would have been able to do all that. This is the shit that pisses me off about hood motherfucking parents. Y'all think all y'all gotta do is just tell a motherfucker. And the kid has no fucking blueprint whatsoever. They have nothing to follow. They have nothing that they can see and say, this is how you do. Do you realize that the greater majority of people learn by doing, not by you telling? They learn by action, watching, seeing it. Everybody get this thing where, oh, I told you not to do that, so you shouldn't have did that. Most people in an environment like that, especially when they don't have both their parents, they learn by what they see. They become what they are around. Have you ever heard of the term being a product of your environment? That's true. The greater majority of people will become products of their environment as opposed to doing the opposite. That's just what will happen. Something as simple as like in is that Virginia or is that Ohio? I think it may be in Ohio, where it's like the mining town. Everybody there, you have generations of miners. People that go into the mines, mining coal, mining whatever fucking other natural resources that they have. That's what they do. That's what they do. You know why? That's the environment. Everybody that's in a mining town ain't trying to get the fuck out. There are some people that are okay with being miners. There's some people that are okay saying, yeah, I'm going to go dig this coal up for the next 30 years. My daddy did it. His daddy did it. I want to do it. It's just like people who do jobs like fire departments, law enforcement. You have generations of that. Why? Because they seen their dad do it. There's a part of me that got into law enforcement because my dad was in law enforcement. It's a fucking no-brainer. My brother was in law enforcement because our daddy was. All of my daddy's friends, they were in law enforcement. I was exposed to it. I was in that environment since I could remember. I remember when my dad made sergeant and I was at his graduation and the superintendent says, hey, son, you gonna be a sergeant just like your dad? And I was like, nope, I'm gonna be the superintendent. And motherfuckers was like, damn, this nigga gonna be doing more. What the fuck is that? I just remember that. It's just what you're exposed to. If you're around it, you're gonna become it. Just like in the hood. Motherfuckers do what? When they don't have an education, when they can't play basketball, you can't play football, you ain't really smart because your parents didn't make your ass go do your homework and your studies and shit. What do? You become a fucking gangbanger and a drug dealer. Why? Because all your friends are gangbangers and drug dealers. I probably would have been a fucking ruthless fucking drug dealer if my father wasn't around. Just the fear of him fucking not getting me out of jail if I was ever to get locked up and him telling me that. It put something in my mind. He exposed me to the other side. Now, I did a few fuck things in my life, but I never went way left. I didn't become a fucking kingpin. I could have. I knew the people that were doing it. I could have definitely got on. I mean, we grew up together. But I didn't, because I had another example. What kind of examples do you think she had with your ass not being there? Ain't shit, mama. What type of example? What do you think it was? What do you think it was like for her to not have your ass there? Because I'm sure your fucked up shit came from the fucked up shit your mama put you through. You completed the motherfucking cycle. You perpetuated the cycle. Exactly. You look at the Bushes. Look at the Kennedys. Look at the Clintons. Look at the Trumps. I'm going to even get real basic for you. You ever drive around and you see new construction, you see sky rises that are up, and you see at the top of those sky rises they have cranes? Did you know that most crane operators are generational? Like, you see a crane operator up there, his daddy was a crane operator, his daddy's daddy was a crane operator, his daddy's daddy was a crane operator, and they literally pass that business down generation. It's usually a generational thing. Most of the time when you see a crane operator, that crane operator it's a generational job. When was the last time you seen an advertisement on TV for crane operators? Learn, what are you doing sitting on your couch? Come to crane school and learn how to operate a crane. You don't see that, do you? No, because it's one of those jobs to where it's literally, you got to know what the fuck you're doing, first of all. But because those fathers are teaching their kids how to operate a crane, they're taking them up on a crane when they're yay high. They're sitting them on their laps, showing them how cranes and shit work. So by the time they become a teenager, it's damn near second nature to them. So all they got to do is get certified, know how to do the shit, and it's their job. All right, son, you know, I know you're 22, so we're going to put you on this little 10-story building, and you'll work your way up to where you get like me and be on top of this 144th floor. But yeah, we'll teach you the ropes. We'll start you out with just, this little 10-story here, and you get your feet wet. That's what happens. Right, April? Farmers. Fucking farmers beget farmers. Ratchet begets ratchet. Niggatry begets niggatry. Now you have those anomalies where they break the cycle and they go a different way. But the majority of motherfuckers do what they're exposed to.
But you got a piece of motherfucking dick and you went motherfucking crazy. Girl, it's more than life than just getting fucked and getting your pussy ate. Somehow you just made a post on Facebook telling me how hard it is to shave your asshole. You know what I'm saying? Who does that? Who makes posts like that and you know your mama looking? So
who makes videos like this when you know that your mama looking, when you know that your daughter looking, when you know that other people will see this that know you and your daughter and your mother? One day your grandkids gonna see this.
you wanna talk like this on Facebook, I'ma talk to your ass like this too. In front of every motherfucking body. That motherfucking way. I ain't finna read it, Frida. I ain't reading no motherfucking comments. I'm motherfucking talking. See, because some of y'all that's laughing gonna have to go through this very same thing. I can remember a long time ago, my mama said, baby.
Baby.
She said, everything you put me through the brothel, and I broke her heart. Because my mama was bitches and hoes. And you know what? I paid for that. I paid for that dearly. God whooped me so, girl, he whooped me. And I think I'm still getting whooped to this day. You understand me? I still think I'm getting whooped to this day. You understand what I'm saying? But baby, let me tell you something.
Do you hear this shit?
See,
fuck you.
That bitch beat me to it. That bitch beat me to it. Exactly. My sentiments exactly. Bitch, fuck you. We patting you on the back for you doing what the fuck you supposed to be doing. That bitch gonna sit there and say, if y'all would have known what I was doing, y'all would have gave me a pat on the back. Bitch, fuck you. Ain't nobody gonna pat you on the back for the shit you should have been doing, for the shit you just now trying to correct, and then you turn right back around and do some more fucked up dysfunctional shit like this. Bitch, fuck you. This shit is fucking atrocious that you're out here purporting yourself in this manner. This is unacceptable behavior. And this bitch trying to justify because of what you've been through. That don't make it no fucking excuse. Sometimes in life, yes, shit comes our way that we're not ready for. Shit comes our way that shouldn't have came our way, and shit happens. I get that. But when you to the point to where you're behaving like this is no excuse. If she was having this conversation with her daughter in her living room somewhere, I get it. Because maybe there's an opportunity for you to work some shit out. But to be doing this fuck shit on Facebook live for the entire world to see, it's unacceptable. Plain and simple. Pat me on the back. You better get the fuck out my face on the internet.
I still think I'm getting whooped to this day. You understand what I'm saying? But baby, let me tell you something.
Now she having a moment.
See,
Now she having a moment.
I
Really.
ain't gonna sit here and say, I don't love my motherfucking child, cause I do.
And she just did.
But today, I love me. Can't no devil in hell hold me in bondage. Not even my motherfucking children.
And see, this is my other problem. If you look at any time that women get a moment, black women especially, when they get a moment to actually be heard, when they get a moment to actually speak on something, they always make it about themselves. When you have a moment to help somebody else with your story, you still make it all about you. You still make it all about you. I got to do this. I'm still going to live my life. I'm going to tell my truth. I'm going to do this for me. I was the one who did this. It's I. That's all you hear. And then it's usually followed up with some fucking fake or half-ass tears, or no tears at all, with just the and all they do is play the victim card. No accountability, no responsibility. No, hey, I fucked up and now I'm paying for it. And I'm continuing to pay for it. God whooped me and he's still whooping me today. Not, I deserve the fuck shit that has happened in my life because I made my bed that I'm laying in right now and I gotta lay in it. The shit I did in my life when I was young, I'm paying for it now, and it was all my fault. I chose the fucked up shit I did, and I chose to do it. You don't hear that.
If you motherfuckers knew my motherfucking story, y'all would be giving me pats on the back too.
Girl, fuck you.
Ain't nobody gonna hold me.
You hear that? She's patting herself on the back. She's patting herself on the back, saying if y'all knew everything and knew my story, y'all would be patting me on the back too.
To my motherfucking past. God freed me. He sure did. Cause if he didn't, I wouldn't have the 2 children that I do got in my custody.
Women, you don't, let me tell you something. Any woman that's watching this, black women that's watching this, your life is fucked up when you counting your children by the ones you have custody of. That's just Just a little side note. If you gotta count your children by the ones you have custody of or by the ones you don't have custody of, you are pretty much an ain't shit bitch. And your life is beyond fucked up. You ain't got shit together and you can't talk about nobody. All right? Let's just establish that. If you're talking about your kids by the ones you have in custody or the ones you don't have that's in custody, you ain't shit bitch. If we was to create a list of what defines or what determines an ain't shit bitch, that's on the list. If you're counting your children by the ones you have the ones you have in your custody and the ones you don't, chances are you're an ain't shit bitch.
And I've had them for 4 motherfucking years. 4 years.
You notice the bitch didn't say since birth? Just saying.
Been clean off cocaine going on 8 years.
Good for you, bitch.
So you can't tell me God ain't good.
God ain't got nothing to do with that, bitch. You was on coke. You was on crack. That was you. How do you make that being God's responsibility? I know God just be like, how I get in this? This bitch went off and did. She wasn't talking to me when she was hitting them lines with that big ass Hoover nose.
And he's good all the time.
Now she preaching.
You understand what I'm saying? She ain't get enough punishment. This ain't punishment for her. This ain't no motherfucking punishment. You think
No
this is a
motherfucking
punishment?
punishment.
This is what the fuck she need to hear. This is called motherfucking reality. You understand what I'm saying? This some reality for her mother.
You notice whenever you see black women talking like this, that it's always a thing to where what they're trying to tell somebody else about is what they need to be telling themselves because they themselves have done that very thing, if not worse. But they too busy trying to call out another motherfucker because it's easier for them to point the finger at them, at that other thing or that other person, or put the blame or the reason why they're behaving the way they're behaving on the other person, as opposed to looking at themselves and taking that responsibility. I'm telling you, the two things that black women are just fucking allergic to, genetically allergic to: accountability and responsibility. They just won't deal with it. They just won't deal with being accountable for their actions and being responsible for their actions. They don't want to deal with that. They want everything else in this world to go their way, but they don't want to be accountable or responsible for anything they do or say. They won't check themselves and they won't suffer the consequences of the shit that they do or say. And I don't understand why everybody is not calling that shit out, because that is the very thing that is fucking our women up. You want to know what's wrong with black women? Lack of responsibility and accountability. They just don't have it. Thanks for the super chat there, Big Timer. He says, niggas don't believe in God for real. It's just something to say. Exactly. They throw it out there to get sympathy. They throw it out there so people won't condemn. They throw it out there so people won't shame them. If I say God, then I'm good. That's what they say. Yeah, I killed 42 people in a weekend, but by the grace of God, he saw fit to let me kill 42 the following weekend. Now I done killed 84. But by the grace of God, he allowed me to, he forgave me and he freed me from them 84 souls that I took them 2 weekends. Good God. And won't nobody say shit.
Fucking ass. Why you trying to embarrass your motherfucking mama? I'm grown. I was built for and tough for this motherfucking shit. For what the fuck I done went through. You understand me? From being raped. I'm talking about by 2 niggas.
You had a train ran on you.
All that.
You hear that? By being raped by 2 niggas, and that bitch said you had a train ran on you. So do you see what I mean by just saying what you're exposing your children to by being in that environment, it's gonna get to them. Cause I bet you the same type of shit done happened to her. And what does she have to say for it after all of the fuck shit she done did and done been through? Bitch, I'm built for it tough. Like a goddamn F-150. All that I've been through, that's what I counted up all to that. Bitch, I'm built for it tough. I'm like a fucking pickup truck. Ho. I can't.
It was a train.
Her ass being raped. She was raped too.
Talking too much.
Did I just call it? She was raped too.
I had to go through that and deal with that. Choosing these motherfucking men. Get your life together.
So why do you think that she wouldn't be doing the same fuck shit you did when you allowed the same fuck shit to happen to her to happen to you to happen to her? Why do you not see that you can't call this bitch a bitch because you was a bitch that taught this bitch how to be a bitch in the first place, bitch? That's why this bitch is a bitch, and that's why you two bitches keep going back and forth with each other like a couple of bitches. Never once did you hear her say, I fucked up and I fucked you over because, nope, she like, I had to go through that. I had to deal with that. Because I guarantee you that bitch ain't never apologized to her. I guarantee you that bitch ain't never asked her daughter to forgive her.
And everything else will fall in place. And when I talk about God too. Because the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all those things will be added to you. You so controlled about these worldly things out here. You know what I'm saying? And all this high flexing ass motherfucking gear. Don't forget to take care of motherfucking Ebony. And when I mean Ebony, your mindset. You understand what I'm saying? See, because you're going through some of the same shit that I had to motherfucking go through. You understand with me? All that anxiety, calling and crying. Bitch, who was there? Who dropped everything I had to do to come up to the hospital to an ungrateful ass motherfucking child? Don't make this about no motherfucking man, bitch. Because this about your disrespect. And I done took more than a motherfucking off. You ain't none of my motherfucking mama. I'm yours. That motherfucking way. No, baby. Ain't no motherfucking gingivitis over this motherfucking way. And I know I got a motherfucking gap. It's somebody for every motherfucking body. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking teeth. You understand me? I can
That bitch said teeth. T-E-E-F. Teeth and toofuses. God damn. Bitch said she got gingivitis. The fuck?
kill less. I don't give a fuck. It ain't stop nobody from getting this pussy. You need to know that. This gap ain't stop the motherfucking thing, nigga. I can swallow your daddy with this motherfucker.
Oh, that.
Did you hear that? That bitch said, I can swallow your daddy with this motherfucking mouth. Wow.
That's nasty. Oh, that's
Ain't
nasty.
stop shit. Cause this about your disrespect. And I done took more than a motherfucking off. You ain't none of my motherfucking mama. I'm yours. That motherfucking way. No, baby. Ain't no motherfucking gingivitis over this motherfucking way. And I know I got a motherfucking gap. It's somebody for every motherfucking body. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking teeth. You understand me? I can kill less. I don't give a fuck. It ain't stop nobody from getting this pussy. You need to know that. This gap ain't stop the motherfucking thing, nigga. I can swallow your daddy with this motherfucker.
Oh, that's
That way.
nasty. Oh, that's
Ain't
nasty.
stop shit.
Oh, nasty.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I ain't never said I was no motherfucking perfect ass motherfucking mama. And if those
There
so
they
you
go.
need to know that. But like I said, I ain't now child I had who came out my ass, sucking my asshole, gonna disrespect me.
Sucking my asshole. And here's the thing. I'm gonna agree with her on this small part. Yes, you should acknowledge that you ain't a perfect parent and you did. And yes, I get it. You have been through a lot. You've probably had a terrible childhood. You were probably exposed to the same fucked up environment. However, the problem is, ma'am, Deborah Wallace, you don't need to vent this out on social media, even if your kid is. Because you know one thing you can't say? You can't say, my mama did this to me. Ain't no motherfucking live video of your mama dragging your ass, because I'm sure you did some fucked up shit and pissed her off too. You don't have to do this on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, MySpace, and whatever the fuck else social media outlets there are. Tumblr. That's where you wrong at. Everybody got problems. Everybody got issues. What you need to be doing is seeking counseling as opposed to preaching on Facebook. Your sermon from the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 20, with your sermon entitled, I Can Swallow Your Whole Daddy.
That is nasty.
And I meant that. Because I could have closed my legs and broke your motherfucking neck. I could have aborted
Did you come out your mama asshole?
No.
You hear me? I could have did that.
Did you?
But I didn't.
I ain't come out eating her ass either.
I would have whooped my mom ass if I came out her asshole. As soon as I got
So that's
17.
love. You know what I'm saying? Because some of y'all on here done had goddamn about 12 motherfucking abortions. You understand what I'm saying? About 9 motherfucking miscarriages.
And all this time, kids still in the motherfucking room locked the fuck up. Kids in solitary confinement like a motherfucker.
By 9 motherfucking miscarriages and all that. Ain't nobody perfect in this motherfucking world. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't proclaim to be. But like I said, bitch, you brought it to motherfucking Facebook. You started it. And goddamn with these 2,000 motherfucking views, bitch,
Did you hear that? And that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Shout out to my man Brass Man Taker. Hit your boy off with $4, man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And shout out to Big Time and hit me up with that $20 on the super chat. That's what's up. Oh man. Thank you. Shout out to Vicky Meeks. Hit your boy off with $2 as well. I appreciate it. 2,000 views.
finished it. Reality is, you is the freak of motherfucking Birmingham. Bitch, know your place in life. Go back to school. Be all that you can motherfucking be. Don't worry about me over here. I'm dead to you. You don't have to worry about me no motherfucking more. And you made that very motherfucking clear. If I die today or tomorrow, bitch, do not show up at my funeral. I'ma make it in my will that your ass cannot come there. I do not want no ungrateful ass child standing over my motherfucking corpse. You understand me? With the way you feel about me. Period.
She put her wig on.
And I mean that. And I'm about to smoke a motherfucking another one. See, because before I let a motherfucker get me back there up on this motherfucking psych ward for losing my motherfucking mind for what a motherfucker think about me, I smoked 3 packs of these motherfuckers. You hear me? Real talk. Or before I end up in prison for killing a motherfucker. I'm there. Everything I done been through, baby, I paid for it. Everything I'm going through, I paid for it, didn't it? You understand me? bitch ain't no goddamn angel. Shit, she ain't got no halo on her goddamn head. Shit, I know that's real. She around here popping pussy out of goddamn all three pants legs, like I told you. Look at her post. Y'all will see what the fuck I'm talking about. After this, she gonna deactivate her motherfucking page. If I was you, I motherfucking would. I'd deactivate that motherfucker. Cause every time I see you post something stupid, bitch, as a mother, I'ma motherfucking say something about it. And I'ma keep calling you bitches and hoes because that's how you motherfucking talk to me. You ain't got no respect for me, you ain't gonna get none back. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. See, I'm not here to kiss my children's ass. I don't ass kiss. I'ma tell it to you like the T.I. motherfucking is. Cause if I don't, a bitch out here in the streets gonna do.
Do you hear this?
You out here riding around, fighting all in the car, with your son all in the backseat, at the park, getting beat up and shit. You understand me? It's too much shit going on in Birmingham. But y'all wanna tell me I'm motherfucking wrong. Y'all can suck my ass. Wait till your children start disrespecting y'all motherfuckers. The Menendez boys killed their parents. I've been damned if one threatened me, told they gonna take me out the game. Bitch, you come here, you gonna get a bullet to the motherfucking head. And I mean that. Jesus Christ, know that. My own child. If you think you gonna beat my ass, like you said you was, baby, you got another thing coming. Don't let these bones trick you. See, cause let me tell you, children will try you. A while ago, she tried me. You know how a motherfucker wanna wrestle and play and shit. You know, don't mistake these bones for being just bones. Bitch, these bones got some strength behind. So your friends need to know that too. Yeah, one punch without nails on, and I'm bald head. All the way. I would knock one of you motherfuckers out. So can't no bitch pull no motherfucking hair. You feel me? Don't get that shit twisted. Real talk. When you talk about beating my motherfucking ass, bitch, I got a problem. Especially when I had you, ho.
I had you.
That's
Ho.
right. Now go on over there. See, because if you was being raised so right by that goddamn righteous ass 90-year-old motherfucking mama that you claim is your motherfucking mama, that you claim raised you and took care of you, bitch, your ass. And I ain't a shy. I wish I did.
Now she mad. Now you mad and you throwing shots at your mama because your mama had to raise your daughter. Now you talking shit about fighting, killing, and doing all this shit to your kid because you was a terrible fucking mother. You set your daughter up for failure. You're responsible for the shit that your daughter got exposed to as a kid. You the one that put her on track to the motherfucking fast track of Hold'em. You did that.
Have a mama that cared like I motherfucking did. And I got 6 motherfucking children. The fuck you mean?
Wow. So out of the 6, that bitch got custody of 2.
Every motherfucking day, it's a new nigga you talking you with. Oh, I think I like this boy. Oh, I think it's love. I love him. I'm gonna get out of that. You all on Facebook portraying yourself to be a little freak, but you get mad when I call you one? You don't get mad when them hoes come on your post dogging your ass, calling you freaks and hoes. But you wanna talk about your motherfucking mama? Girl, you can kiss my motherfucking ass. And I mean from the bike.
The bike.
The bite.
That way.
The baby said that way.
Sakura, you gotta be one of Miss Adams' motherfucking children. Cause that's your last name, or Miss Adams' motherfucking family. You can get your ass about my motherfucking post. Because when I came up to that hospital and I was up there to see that motherfucking baby with Ebony, ain't none of y'all motherfuckers have that motherfucking energy. Cause you motherfuckers know I'm about that life. So get the fuck about my motherfucking post. Cause I'm on that bitch. I don't give a fuck. stop playing with me before
I'll take one of you hoes out, and these two children will be with my mama. So the fact that you know your goddamn self that you ain't been there for your kids, you are perfectly fine with two other ones to prove a point that you'll take one of these bitches out.
I make an example out of few of you motherfuckers.
He said snapping like a barracuda. So Cora, that's the name.
And I don't have time to sit here and play about people. If you so goddamn confused and so impressed about my motherfucking gap, you know what I'm saying, or don't want to look at this motherfucker, get the fuck up off my life. Ain't nobody.
Oh my God. Let me wrap this up. Here's my thing. Do you think that me doing this and talking about this was about her? No. My biggest problem with this, aside from her behavior and all of this is probably the most disgusting woman I've ever seen talking on social media. It's her children that I see that are learning from her. It's the 2,000 people that watch this that I see as the problem because they're learning from her. I'm more than willing to accept the fact that this person is gone, too far gone. You can't save her. She might as well just be caught up in the rapture. She might as well just be purged with the rest of the niggas that are out there like her and worse. My point is this, and this goes back to the question. Do you think that this was Martin Luther King's dream? Do you think that everything that the civil rights movement meant, everything that the civil rights movement was about, was to get us to this point to where this is what we do? Do you think Dr. King would be pleased seeing this on his social media feed if he had a Facebook today and somebody sent him this at 91? Do you think that this is what the I Have a Dream speech was about? The March on Selma was about? And these motherfuckers in Alabama. Do you think that every piece of paper that was written to go before the courts for equal rights? Do you think that every dog that bit a nigga, every hose that hosed a nigga, every single baton, riot gear equipment, tear gas, smoke, horses, all that was sacrificed and that people went through to get to this point, do you think this was their idea of where we wanted to be? I tell you this. The fact that we have looked forward in trying to progress as a people and have forgotten those things that were the foundation or the building blocks of our own culture and our own communities has led us to this. Dr. King didn't think that the fathers wouldn't be in the homes anymore in 1963. Dr. King didn't think that we would have the things that we have today and the family not be intact. They didn't think about that. And you know why they didn't think about that? Because the difference between then and now is back then it was an expectation. Today it's an option. Being a single mother was a shameful thing back then. Being a father who wasn't at home or who didn't take care of his family and wasn't there for his kids, that was a shameful thing. People didn't want to be bastards back then. It's not even talked about. The word bastard is barely even used today. Having a family having a uh, marriage, children, dual parent household, living a stable life, living like the average family lives is an option for us now, not a requirement and not an expectation. I think that while Dr. King was dreaming his dream speech, while the people who helped him write that speech and put it together, while he freestyled that part of that I Have a Dream speech because he was so passionate about it, I know that he did not want at no point think this is what would happen to black people, to the black family. His dream didn't include that bitch. His dream didn't include the things that we're doing today, the things we're allowing to happen to our children, the things that we are doing to each other, the way that we live in our hoods, in our communities. He didn't dream that part of a dream. That wasn't a part of his dream. Because that in itself wouldn't be a dream. It would be a nightmare. So yes, tomorrow, a lot of us don't have to go to work. January 15th was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. Well, he would have been 91. It's been 57 years, y'all. Only 57 years. And this is where we at. Imagine where we'll be in another 13, in another 23. Yeah, let's say another 23 years. Where do you think we're going to be going at the rate that we're going now? So it's too late for some, but not too late for most. It is a lot of us that ain't gonna be able to fix what's been broken. That's just gonna have to fall off to the wayside. Just like in the Bible, how those original cats that got away with Pharaoh with Moses, that was wandering around in the wilderness for 40 years. They say they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years so that all them old heads could die off. So that the new cats, the newer, younger people could actually go into the promised land and they would be able to thrive in it. When you're talking about what it is that we want to do, what we want to have, the freedoms that we want to experience, all of that stuff that all those people in the civil rights movement fought for us to have, we've not only taken it for granted by the behavior that we exhibit today, we've literally shitted on it and thrown it back into their faces. What do you think it was all for what was it all for if we ourselves as adults can't take what was given and done for us, what was given to us and done for us, if we don't take it and build on it? Because all we've done is taken what they came together to create for us, and we've turned it into a I, me, me. How about we start thinking about us and we as opposed to a I and me? Because if women thought that way, there would be more men in homes. If women thought that way, there would be more families that are together. If men thought that way, they would be a lot more careful with who they sleep with. If men thought that way, there would be a lot less single parents in the world. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. I want to thank everybody that donated. I want to thank everybody that clicked the like. And I just want to say I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. If you have any questions, you want to have a conversation about what it is you saw today, if you want to talk to me, shoot me an email at therelationshiprehab at Gmail, and we can set something up and we can do just that. But I would just say, just because things happen to you and they don't work out, or things went wrong in your life, you owe it to your children to not just give them and buy them things that you didn't have, but to be an example and to be a better person for them. We get that so mixed up to where we think about, oh, well, I'm just going to buy the kids that I didn't, because I grew up broke and I grew up poor. Kids don't care about that. Now, every kid wants shit, and sometimes you can't get them everything that they ask for. But what children want more than anything is an example. They want structure and a blueprint. And we are in control as parents to give them a better blueprint and a better structure than what we had, because we know where our parents went wrong, and we now know what not to do. We know where our parents went right, which shows us what we need to do. And that definitely starts with and ends with two parents. Biological mother, biological father. Stop fucking men that aren't good fathers. I know you want to be selfish and you want the best dick you can possibly get. Do that. Have that. But don't have no kids with nobody who's not going to be a good father. And for those young people that may be thinking, well, how do you know if they're going to be a good daddy or not? I mean, that's just something you just don't know. No. You can know if a man's going to be a good father by looking at his father. By looking at how him and his father react. By looking at how him and his father and his grandfather interact. And there's the rub. Stop just looking at the man and start looking at the man's family. Stop fucking niggas that don't have daddies, and then you turn around and expect them to be daddies because you didn't have a daddy. That don't make sense. Makes no sense. Start fucking and having babies by men that have daddies, granddaddies. Yeah, makes things a little bit more difficult, don't it? You want to have a baby? You want to go get you some dick? Go get you some dick. Do what you do. You want to have a kid? You want to have a family? Start doing that with men that come from families. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for clicking the like button, clicking the subscribe button. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I swear to God, I do. Shout out to Martin Luther King. I want to say thank you for your sacrifice. Even though your homeboys, them fuck niggas that was around you, they set you up. I appreciate for what you tried to do for us. And I hope that one day your dream can become a reality. And I hope that the people that watch this understand that we are the ones that can change what we are, who we are, and how we are. All it takes is one person. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace. And I'm out. And just know this. We can't change shit until we start calling things things. You have to be able to call out that behavior in order to change that behavior. It's okay to shame a person or to offend a person to good works. Because maybe they may not get it, but those other people that are around watching you shame, watching you get on somebody and call out and bring to the forefront what type of terrible behavior that they're doing, to the front to where they won't do it. I'm out, y'all. Peace.